more on this later. It's the best event as a destination and worldwide. It's the health and well-being. And here we have the director of Good afternoon. I've only got half an hour to cover what would take me an hour and a half. So what I'm going to do is give you a lot of information, and I'm going to tell you about things that I've lived the experience. I direct this project from 15 years ago. It's a project that 15 countries are involved in, and I know what there is to know about water in all countries. We defend the culture of water. And the title is, anybody who knows about tendencies of health and well-being in Europe and America, is that what's most important is the resource. If we talk about thermal tourism, medicinal waters, you need to know about water, because without the water, the rest doesn't matter. So in this image of the San Joaquin spa, and people who've been promoters, so Terma Italia next year, and in a singular way in Coahuila and in Saltillo. And here's the director of the Congress and Conventions and Visitors Office here, and the secretary and the subsecretary and different businessmen, and they're all here. In this health and well-being tourism, it's this one of the authentic experiences based on local experiences, as you can see here. What does the client want? Domestic and international customers, what they're looking for is a healthy life. They want an experience based on local resources. And at the end of the day, what we have to do is to generate wealth, starting at the resource and to build a destination. I'm going to have to go very fast, because if I don't go this fast, I'm not going to be able to get through everything I need to. And then I'll outside the salon, I'll answer your questions for whatever you need. Something that I'm going to insist upon permanently is the planning and promotion and commercialization that should all go hand in hand in public sector and private sector. There's the role that each one, I'm not going to talk about that now, I don't have time and to go into it in detail, but you should always have this present. And also that we should always have the need to increase the demand. And for this, we need to create new products or put more emphasis on the products that we've got. How you do it, we need to create a lobby that the public and private sectors are both in, and to be there every day, specializing and looking for innovations. And it's very important, the concept of the thermal visit. Here's an example of a community in Spain with their wealth, well, minor wealth, and how they base their promotion on their resource, that it's a medical mineral water. At the end of the day, the resources require, and for this country it's very important because there's a lot to do in lots of places. I've been here 2 days interviewing different people who are responsible in different states, and they've all got medical mineral waters and nobody's exploiting them. So what do we have to do? We have to do specific knowledge about the resources from a multidisciplinary point of view, the architecture and urbanism, sustainable development, strategic positioning, and tourist promotion, as they do in lots of places. This is a 25 city association in Europe who've united thermal waters with patrimony. 25 cities, the one in ours is the only one in Spain in the association. What you have to do at the end of the day, this is the code. We have to get together. The administration, the thermal waters representative, and to ask these questions. What products can we offer as a destination? What price can we offer these products? How can we give value added to the client, and what commercialization client channels can we use? We have to always have in mind that it's the thermal waters is the center and what everything else goes around. What I'm talking about, how do you build the offer? We have to have the complex, we have to get the local authorities involved, and we have to have a product club where we're all defending the same thing. The consumer, how do we create value? First you prepare the trip, then you get there, then you're at the place, and then he lives in the place or spends time in the place. So you've got to create this chain of experience so we can visualize it, like lots of places have done. This is one in Arjona in Spain, that's Castilla y León, in Ribera del Duero. This is a thermal center based, their promotion is based on medicinal mineral water. You get there, you get some wine when you get there, then you visit some wine and you get a typical dinner with lots of wine involved. So they link the produce of the region with the, this is in Catalonia, in Riondo, where in this motor city, they go to a sporting event and then enjoy the medicinal mineral waters. And I bring this example because I know about it, and this is the, and astronomical evenings. This is something spectacular. You'll relax all day, and at night you can participate in an astronomical. It's a unique experience. From Mexico, I send it out to the rest of the world. In Morelos also, which, as is happening, the plants, the vegetation. So next to the water, you have this idea of tranquility, well-being, color, of serenity. That's in Morelos, and that you should know that there's lots of opportunities for business in this sector. I'm going to tell you. Here's an example. This is a great operator who promotes the lasso, and this is the mum who's just gave birth. Now she goes with the baby to the center. Specifically treatments to recover from giving birth, and at the same time the baby can be included. There's this specialization. All of this is something I'm going to insist on this. It's very defined. You have to define the product. You have to define the product with clarity, the cost of the product, who the consumer is, and that they should want and get a lot of information. And this is one of the principles that we should base the information on. It's not because it's easy to get to it, but we are the ones who should take the decisions based on the information. The international destinations, I'm going to have to jump over this one in Germany, where they explain how to look after your back, what they're going to do, how many treatments, how much it costs, all well explained. That's in Germany. That's where a tour operator who dedicates their company, they take insurance companies to, or the clients to, what characteristics they offer in these places, all the details here specified, each one. Here in Italy, in Montegrotto, how they condition the offer, everything's explained, the dinner, the treatment with mud, all the details are there. Here's La Roche-Posay. Who hasn't heard of this? And the creams, I've been there. I'm going to give you an example. When I got there, the first thing was that there was no tourist office. And I say this to the people representing Coahuila. It was a thermal office. The pharmacies weren't pharmacies. They were thermal pharmacies. And in all all of the business was to do with what the access of the resource and how they promoted it. And this brand, which is everywhere. Here's another example, La Roche-Posay. Here's the last visit that I made 2 months ago in Paris to the, what they say is, in the thalassotherapy centers, what are their waters for? Here it says it very clearly. Each one now post-cancer treatments, taking the water to relax, to treat yourself. And it's all explained very clearly which pains can be treated, where you find it. Very clear. All of these are from 2 months ago in Paris. This is in Czechoslovakia. Look at this water physiotherapy, water rehabilitation. It's been proven that it's cheaper, it's faster, and that the patient feels better. So it's a decision that we bet on. I could talk about Czechoslovakia. Look how they promote themselves. The water, the force, the strength of water and mud and drinking water. This is their promotion in one of the great thermal countries. This is Spain. We have thermal centers all over Spain, and it's something else to take into account. In the Canaries, sun and beach, millions of tourists, and look how they promote themselves. They're not putting beach. Look what they're putting here. They're putting the treatment with the thermal treatment, the massage, the relaxation, with vegetation in the background. The client who books a health and tourism package, when we talk about couples, it's the most important sector. Couples, we talk about 2 people. That's what a couple means. How do you work on health and wellness? What are the clients like? What are they all like? Every day we're looking for health. We all look for health and atmosphere, sustainability, new experiences. That's what we're trying to transmit everywhere. What kind of clients? From young people without any pathologies who are looking, the price is important to them. 35 to 45, the price doesn't matter so much, but they really care what they're going to find there. And after 55, we've got pains. And we want to feel better, and we want to improve them through different specializations in the water. This is a worldwide tendency for the health and well-being tourism. You can read this with me, and it's about what I already said. The mind matters. Yoga, meditation, new market niche, wellness tourists, looking for new experiences. We're tired. We want to see new things. And we're a potential client. Interaction between health and well-being tourists and food. Gastronomy is always an axis that's fundamental in tourist promotion. Holidays. Doctors now prescribe healthy holidays to get rid of stress. And we look for quiet places that allow us to change our lives, not to hurry. When we travel for other reasons, and I'm talking about my own experience, which hotel do you want to go to? Was 4 stars, and that if it's got a spa, so much the better. And if it's got waters, so much the better. But we travel for we're always looking. We're looking because we might need it, or we might have time to give a value to what's been an important work day. And this is increasing. Clients are looking for other services when they're doing business travel. And also when these centers are in isolated places where there's not many people. When you go on holiday to these places, you're helping a community. maybe to help them live better. But is this a feeling in the new generations of getting better? This has been very well studied, and it's the behavior of the future that we need and that I'm talking about here. Look at the business, $3.4 trillion in 2013, 294 billion. This is where people come from. What it looks like in 2013, the trips that have gone on in worldwide. A lot in Latin America, in Southeast Asia and North Africa. This generates billions, a lot of billions, and it has to be very clear. This tourism is going to grow 9% in the next years and is nearly 50% higher than that of all overall global tourism. We're betting on the future. We're betting on the business. Marketing experience to get it. Here's a German one. The cards that they send referring to the treatments given in a thermal center. Quality seal, they go because of references. This reference is important. You have to have this quality seals and accreditation. This is an experience that I have lived in Germany, in Berlin, where the keloids, where you get the mud with the water for treatments. Here, 50 people got in these tubs completely naked for half an hour, and we took the treatment because we were tired, and afterwards we were full of energy. So we're looking for these experiences. This is in Iceland for psoriasis. These waters have sulfur and they help psoriasis. But the marketing isn't the same marketing where you don't show bad things. Here, we show things and we say we're going to make it better. And this is how in Iceland they promote things. So here, the architecture matters. This of the spas in Austria. Look at the combination of architecture with water and development. This is the Thermal Center in Germany. Paradise of waters and mixed with culture as well. 24 hours. 8 of us go to bed, and 8 of us, it was very important that the local community should be involved in the administration. We need to find the offers. In Germany, as you can see, the offer is done with culture, different cultural activities, the cards, the tourist cards that give you a discount so that you can go to the thermal center, and with this thermal card, you get a 15% or something. The characteristics of the water, this is in Spain. It is where the thermal centers are specifically to improve a certain type of condition. This is a spa in Spain that gives all the information about all the criteria, how the water is made and how it's dealt with and to treat. This is in Paris, whilst working here in Gran Canaria. This is a hospital in the Canaries, sun and beach, but hospital center of thalassotherapy, which we call medical tourism, and a double that you improve your health and with medicinal waters. This is in Turkey. They've got a golf club and luxury hotels and private spas. So you've got a grand spa, and they go with their family, and if they've got the money, there's a spa with everything for everybody, with a pool, with a jacuzzi, with water for you. I didn't think it was that expensive, actually, in euros. And to be able to have all of this in Turkey, this is in Chile, people live the surroundings where you live like locals and you feel good because everything brings peace and quality to life. You feel good. Cuenca in Ecuador. I'm showing you that in America there's a lot of possibilities. We've been doing this since the Romans in Europe, but you've got lots of possibilities here. It's Cuenca in Ecuador, health. They've got an important medical infrastructure, and they complement it with the medical mineral waters. And this clinic, Chacarilla, in Peru, they're all over Peru. They have a 7-floor clinic which they do water rehabilitation, or if you have a heart attack, they look after you, and they make you go through all the different water treatments. This is in Peru. Another Peruvian example. You can see that it's in Galicia in Spain, one for families. So you do with the grandparents, the children, the grandchildren, everybody. There's something that they can spend a weekend, have a party, but at the same time, it's healthy for everybody. And there's something who are consumers of bottled waters, but I think it could be much more. Look how it's related. The water as a drink with the thermal center. And the marketing experts would know about this, but look at this, the bottling plant. Lots of bottles go into all of homes all over everywhere. And when you want to think thermal, you think about Lanjarón in Granada, or Fombella, or Vidago in Portugal, or Vichy Catalan, or Evian in France. Vimedo in Portugal, Vichy in France, Luchon, which is near Lourdes, which is religious tourism. And you go to Lourdes on a pilgrimage, and you go to the thermal center, and you can spend a couple of days more there. Conclusions. The objective of marketing Termal is to create a product that has a demand through a natural resource. Since it's an endogenous resource, it demands coordination, planning, and local institutions with a complementary offer that allow you to present competitive products. The strategic code is orientation to prevention and betting on tourism and beauty and people who want to feel better. Among international tourists whose motivation is health and well-being, you need to form basic packets with all-inclusive, and there are the examples that I've shown you, and some of the practical formulas in a thermal country or with thermal destinations is to have a product club that allows us to interact with institutions, operators, the media, to create a culture, a marketing culture through the brand that we have. The ideal scene is the associationism. You have to bet on the wholesalers, and you have to give them a destination in the world. And we want to bet on the wholesalers because they're the ones that are going to allow us to get into the international market, which is where our ambition should be. And thinking always about the international market because it's a market of possibilities. And the culture is what's important, where we have medicinal mineral water. They have to know everything about the water so that when they're going from the airport, they're already talking about it. And when the waiter gave it to me, which water do you want? We've got these waters, and like that, everything. Because it's really important to have the culture, the local culture, thinking with an international vision about those who are visiting us. And we have a tool for this with the reality, which is Termatalia, which is the tourism brand. And look, this is how we promote ourselves in Galicia. This is a pool in the center of the city where where you can 30 something degrees and everybody goes and has a dip there. We've been doing this for many years. We're all over the place. We have a network of members. Here they are, of all the countries, of all the big corporations are members of this project. He's the director of international relations in Denmark. They're in 21 countries every year. They're having their congress in different cities, and we're there with Termatalia. This is in Mexico, in the International Tourism Forum. This is in Colombia, where we're in the presentation of Termatalia, and in the Berlin Fair, presenting Termatalia. This is the network. And we've got a new country, which is Panama, and we're going to incorporate other countries. And we're going to carry on talking about Termatalia, and it's going to be in Mexico next year, in Coahuila and in Saltillo. And that's why I thank you once again for betting on public and private enterprise to make all of this possible. And there's a guide to send health and well-being. I'm an interested party because who's done it is one of the world experts, which is the delegate of Termatalia and here it is. We've got members among the media. We also have Televisa. I'm going to be in Mexico City tomorrow with the presence of Televisa and Termatalia Spain, because Televisa is betting a lot on health tourism. And this is the network that we have. And where we've been, here's our brand in Colombia. Now we're in Costa Rica. We're not doing anything, we're just facilitating. But the governments trust us, and there's lots of years working on this subject. And behind the mark, what there is collaboration. That's
We have an impact in knowledge, in specialized knowledge, according to what has to do with thermal cities, health and well-being, investors who are needed in order to develop in the drinking water. I've already mentioned the international water tasting and destination promotion of all destinations around the world, these 30 destinations that I referred to priorly. At the end of the day, we want to promote culture of water. We did it in Termatalia, Peru, in Argentina, and in 2010, we had a strong cooperation that has been supported yesterday. All these people here present have been with us in different moments of this development and promotion of tourism for well-being in health, in which you have been great players. The one who makes a decisive bet is made by the state of Morelos and Coahuila. There's lots of interest from many other states, as we heard yesterday, but the decisive bet are made by these two states, and we have to give value because Mexico, we should thank Mexico because we're their initiative and push, they would drag the others, and at the end of the day, when we make a country brand, strengthening for the destination to be big. Here we have all people responsible. And I want to finish with this. We've been in Spain, and we invite you to come to Spain. Sorry, because I spoke very fast, but I think that I'm tied to my schedule. I'm here for whichever further information you would like to request.